In front of us today is one of the most unique exotic catalysts that I have played with. Now, I got to play with this catalyst on Wednesday. I honestly thought it was garbage, which is why I'm so glad we held off an extra day and did some more playtesting, because the Cerberus+1 Exotic Catalyst has something to offer. May not be what you're looking for, but it's got something. Now, first up, for those that have never used Cerberus, this 360 round per minute auto rifle, which is present in the kinetic slot, rolls with the intrinsic perk Four-Headed Dog. Shoots erratic bullets from all gun barrels at the same time. It actually has like a rotational pattern when it shoots. Pretty cool. Now, it comes with rifle barrel for that increase in range, fluted barrel for that increase in handling, and a third barrel perk, which is full bore, which greatly increases range. Disregard the stats though here, guys, because they look terrible. And don't even try to make sense of it, because this weapon has never made sense. Now, the trait found on this weapon is spread shot package. Aiming this weapon reduces the spread of its projectiles. So pretty straightforward. You've got an auto rifle that has 4 barrels on the end of it. It shoots 4 bullets at a time. It's got a rotational pattern. And when you aim down sights, it condenses that spread a little bit. Now, this is when the exotic catalyst comes into play, which really threw a wrench in things for us. It states hold R to swap to a tighter, close range spread. Okay. Sounds simple enough, right? The issue is the word close range, which to us may mean like, I don't know, 15 meters, 10 meters. In Cerberus+1 Catalyst terms, that's like 1 meter, or like 1 to 5 meters. Now, not only does it actually turn into a close range spread with ginormous amounts of damage fall off, but it also has like a focus fire effect. So if you remember the perk focus fire present on weapons like still, essentially what happens is that the weapon gains a lower rate of fire, but simultaneously does more damage. And actually, when we're at Greg here, without the catalyst, if I was to land all 4 crits, we hit 2,571 per crit. But with the catalyst active, that throws our damage up to 4,453 per crit. That's a pretty ginormous jump there in damage, guys. Essentially a 73% increase, but it substantially lowers that rate of fire. Now, I don't have the exact values for our new rate of fire with this catalyst active. Educated guess, somewhere around 180 to 200 rounds per minute. And the reason why I say 200 rounds per minute though, and it actually could go further, if you were to actually tap fire Cerberus while its catalyst is active, you can actually fire faster, kind of like the OG Cerberus glitch way back in the day. So like I said, guys, this is essentially focus fire, but works in reverse. And the reason why I say works in reverse, at least on the damage front, focus fire is normally a perk that allows your auto rifle to gain a little extra range, considering that the rate of fire is a little more manageable. Cerberus+1 Catalyst, however, does lower that rate of fire and increase that damage, but it now puts you in a situation where you got to be at least 10 meters of your enemies, and that's for PvP or PvE. The damage fall off on this thing is steep, and past that 10 meter range, the damage is just non-existent. Now, going into PvP, I was trying to figure out the best playstyle to pair with something like the Cerberus+1 Catalyst. Nothing was working for me, man. I was having a difficult time, but I was trying to use it like an auto rifle. Literally, guys, you want to play hella aggressive with this thing. I'm talking about sliding, getting in people's faces. And when you get in their face, don't try to go for a crit, just tap fire. Simply tap firing will result in your rate of fire being a little bit faster, and with this catalyst active, you will have a guaranteed 3 tap with Cerberus+1. So let's just back up here real quick. First up, Cerberus by itself, if you were to just use it in its auto rifle form, hits 23 to 30 per crit and 16 to 18 per body. Now, the variations in numbers there is because Cerberus is on crack and we can never predict this thing, which is why it has a very wide range of TTK values from like 0.67 seconds, which is awesome, to 0.83 seconds, which is still good. And that's actually the range from its optimal time to kill to its body shot time to kill. But it's very hard to predict, which is why some of your gunfights may actually be longer than that, simply because the spread of this thing can get a little crazy. The upside of something like Cerberus, though, is that it does offer a crap ton of flinch. Now, with the catalyst active, we now have another wide range of damage values here. First up, if you were just to tag 1 pellet of your 4 shots from Cerberus, it will hit 28 per crit for the most part. And if you were just to hit all bodies, your damage will range anywhere between 22 to 23 per body. Now, granted, that's 23 times 4. So you have the potential to hit somewhere between 88 and 92 damage per shot. Now, I did happen to land what I think is 4 crits on an opponent because I was very, very close to them, and it did 82 crit damage, which doesn't necessarily sound right considering that that damage is less than just 4 body shot damage values. Regardless though, this is not Chaperone. Like, I would not suggest you go in there and go for the single crit. Number 1, you won't get the one-shot kill, at least to my knowledge. And number 2, it's gonna be very difficult to do because Cerberus does condense that shot down to 1 single shot, but you have got to be right in your enemy's face. Now, with the damage value being 28 per crit plus 22 to 23 per body, it is actually possible to 2-tap Guardians inside of Crucible. You could run up to someone, shoot, one of your shots could be a crit while the rest be body, for a total damage of somewhere around 97. So yes, it has the potential to 2-tap, but that's not the selling point, guys. If you're gonna wanna use this catalyst effectively, you're gonna wanna use it the way I'm using it right here. I'm doing a lot of hip fire action, I'm sliding, I'm getting somewhere around the 5-meter range, I'm moving a bunch, because you gotta dodge shotguns, man. Shotguns and Recluse are your greatest enemy at this range, and I'm just going for the 3-tap. Now, if this weapon is actually shooting at 200 rounds per minute, the 3-tap can actually kill in 0.6 seconds, which is pretty good. I mean, that's very good for an auto rifle, right? It's not instantaneous like a shotgun, but it's not bad. So stylistically, the Cerberus+1 Catalyst, I like it, guys. No, for most of you, it won't be a game changer. I think for PvE, it's pretty nice in that it allows you to conserve ammo while simultaneously doing more damage. That 73% increase there is extremely nice. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna be in that range, you could just use a shotgun. And even something like a Wishbringer, which is just a rapid fire shotgun, does more precision damage than Cerberus. But the biggest benefits of something like Cerberus is number 1, even in its auto rifle form, it's a phenomenal auto. It really is. It's got great flinch capabilities that carries over even into PvP. But even in PvE, it flinches the hell out of enemies, and that flinch goes up substantially when you activate the Exotic Catalyst. So no, you're not gonna break the bank in terms of damage with Cerberus+1 and its Catalyst, but it's still decent damage. And considering that it's only using up primary ammo, and it can stun the likes of something like a Lost Sector boss, it's got potential. For PvP, you're gonna have to do a lot of tricks. Like, I'm out here shaking it, boys. I'm running and diving, throwing melees down, man. Procking dude marches with linear actuators, sliding like a maniac. And you're gonna have to do that if you wanna use this thing effectively. But the way I would treat Cerberus, if you were gonna use it in PvP, I would just take the approach of using it as a normal auto rifle. And if there's anything that this catalyst is doing, it's actually showing some people that Cerberus is actually a pretty decent auto rifle inside of PvP, all on its own. And for those moments that you do have somebody rush you, and you're not necessarily rocking a shotgun or Recluse, simply swap to the Exotic Catalyst, throw a juke or 2 on your enemy, and proceed to gun them down. This Exotic Catalyst is not garbage. I'm a huge fan of Bungie thinking outside of the box. I think I would have honestly preferred if they would have just made shot package on this thing, condensed the bullet spread even more, making it a more desirable auto rifle to use in the mid-range, but I can't hate on Bungie for trying to be creative, especially with their Exotic Catalysts. Considering how many Exotic Catalysts we've received before that have just been stat bumps, whenever I see a catalyst like this, I gotta give it a 10 out of 10. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.